Welcome to Give Me Something, the show where our passports are Australian, but our wallets are citizens of the world. My name's Sam Phillips, and if you're wondering where Ryan Hammy Goodman is, I am too. Now, if you weren't aware, last week we had a bet on the AFL Grand Final. The loser had to sing a Katy Perry song live on the show this week, and he has just gone... I believe he's making some sort of grand entrance here at some point. Now, I haven't seen him yet. I think there's some sort of costume coming into play here. But, yeah, we just need to wait and see. Because I'm as surprised as anyone as to what Hammy is about to produce. You may remember his Apple dance from a little while ago. I dare say this will be better. But we'll have to wait and see. Here he comes. I've just seen he's Hammy for the first time. Here he is.
How are we?
Hammy Goodman, welcome back to Give Me Something. You look fantastic, mate.
Thank you. Wish I could say the same about you. How are we? Oh.
What on earth is going on here? Why are you wearing a shark costume?
This is the famous left shark from the was it the Katy Perry Super Bowl performance where she had the left shark involved?
It? I don't know.
I'll have a Google. It's very it's a famous performance for the shark.
It is, yes. I think it was her Super Bowl performance.
We didn't see the left shark at the grand final.
No, too busy looking like... I thought she looked like a bit of Silver Surfer energy to that.
There was a bit of that. She had the Funky Miller sunnies on as well.
Colin.
Yeah. What'd you make of the performance?
I was watching it on TV at home. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was like a 6 or... It was this bog average grand final performance personally. I thought it was 6, 7 out of 10. But I've been discoloured by... The Robbie Williams and Delta bar is so high.
Very high.
Now.
Yep.
That if you're not getting near that, I don't really want a part of it. So be a part of it. So I thought it was good. A couple of the bangers towards the end were really good. Good when she brought Tina Arena out.
How's the AI? We didn't get the AI at the ground.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like PlayStation 2 graphics.
Oh, okay.
Is what it looked like.
Yep.
But I guess that's like the trend right now. That's that retro theme. But
yep.
Anyway, as I quickly covered off before you entered the building.
Yeah.
I was very keen on the Lions. You were very keen on the Swans.
Yep.
We all know how that played out.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about the game at all? Or are we just going to get straight into it?
No, I'll get into the song. I've just got to work out how to unlock my computer because there's a bit of music and stuff to go with it.
Do you want
obviously.
to hand it to me and I'll do it?
I'll do it.
Are you going to be able to do it with fins on? Well, while you're doing this, give me your thoughts on the Swans.
Terrible.
That's all you got for us?
Well, what more do you want me to say? It was disgrace.
Well, better or worse than being in the building for the 2022 Granny?
This one, you'll recall I was nervous all week.
You were.
Because I thought it was not going to go that well. But, yeah, I mean, none of them are great, to be honest. I guess it was technically a little bit better, 28 points better than last time we lost one. So we are improving.
Oh, God. That's where we're at, is it?
It was tough. It was a tough watch. I wasn't having... I
would have left the building at three-quarter time.
Yeah, but you do a bit of that sort of stuff. Like, that's not really my style.
Why would you sit there in the fourth quarter there? What is there to gain from sitting there?
Well, I think you've just got to sit in it when your team's in there because it will make you appreciate when they eventually do win one.
Yeah.
That little bit more.
I do agree with that take, but you can sit in it for a quarter. You don't need to sit in it for a half.
Yeah, okay. That's a fair point as well.
And at least Hammy was prepared with his horoscope. He knew it was going to be a challenging day.
It's going to be a challenging day always, wasn't it?
Honestly, the September predictions were pretty accurate. Like,
I think they ran at maybe 50%, which
I
suggests
reckon
it's a
it was
coin
more.
flip every time.
I reckon it was more. Anyways.
The ones that mattered came through, which is disappointing. So song choice, that was part of it as well. You had to choose your own Katy Perry song that you'd be singing. So I was a little bit disappointed in the set list that we didn't get hot and cold.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people were because that's obviously a big hit of Katy.
Yes.
Didn't come out on the day.
And is it the opener for My Kitchen Rules, I believe? Oh, no, MasterChef. It's MasterChef.
MasterChef.
Yes.
Both great shows.
Great shows.
So yeah, didn't get a run. I think a lot of people were let down by that. So with that in mind, I thought, look, I'll rectify that today.
Yep.
And I'll bust out hot and cold. But I have just taken the liberty of just changing a few of the lyrics just to make them a bit more about the show.
Okay. So you're going to pop me in the show?
Well, it's just about the show. So,
yeah, okay, yeah. I wonder where this is going.
Anyway, without further ado,
I've
got the karaoke version here as well, so hopefully it doesn't get pulled off YouTube.
I was going to say, any copyright dangers here?
Potentially, but hopefully not. I think
let's hear it.
It'll be good. You change your team like a girl changes clothes, and you work from home at the beach. We all know and you dress yourself like you teach geography. I should know that you won't collab post your punishments. Cause you're hot, then you're cold, you're 40 years old, you're in and you're out. Your ice buff didn't count, you're wrong when it's right. It's black and it's white, we fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up. You claim to be a real Queenslander, but you don't know who Steve Bell is. You're hot, then you're cold, you're 40 years old, you're in, then you're out, you're 10 units down.
Oh my God.
There you go.
That is outstanding.
That was incredible.
Build a man a statue, I say.
So
Wow.
I got to just shout out Katy Perry there for not stealing my thunder there and performing that at the grand final.
How long did that take you to write?
No, not long. I actually did it probably about 20 minutes last night.
That's very good.
That's amazing. That was.
At the start, I kind of sung it to Mon a few times, and I just had the Sam changes his teams like a girl changes clothes. She's like, oh, that's good. You should kick that around a bit. So that's kind of where it got to. So there you go.
So good.
Disappointing. Whose performance was worse, the Swans or mine? It's a real neck and neck.
Are we gonna have to put a cringe warning on that, like we did? Apple Dance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
Well done. Very proud of you for delivering on that punishment.
Thank you.
That
Thank
was
you.
Sharp. I'm glad I got a few clips in there. Could have been worse, to be honest. There's more stuff you could have brought.
Yeah, I didn't want to go too far,
No.
but
The 40 years old line was probably my favourite,
I'm
personally.
surprised 30-year-old baby didn't get it.
that
right
was
there.
accurate. That wasn't a clip. You are 40 years old,
Well,
aren't you?
it's not true. It's just you're just factually incorrect.
Yep.
Do you want my birth certificate on the show?
I wouldn't mind it actually. I think that's probably where we've got to now because we need to get to that level.
All right. So now that's done. Are you gonna wear that the whole show?
I don't know.
I guess so. I think we keep him in it. Yeah.
I think, for consistency's sake.
Yep.
So now we're no more AFL chat. We're done with AFL. For
Thank
the year.
God.
Talk to you in 6 months AFL.
Yep.
Love you and leave you. But it's an NRL Grand Final Extravaganza on the show today. We've got none other than the bloke in a bar. Denan Kemp is coming in to join
Yes.
us.
He won't be sitting in. I'll be sitting in his seat, and he'll have to go.
I don't
there.
think that's allowed, is it?
Well,
How have we allowed
This
that?
is our show, so
I don't know how he's going to handle that, to be honest.
We'll find out.
We will find out.
Yeah.
So he'll be joining us shortly, and none other than Cooper Johns.
yep.
Fascinated to see Cooper Johns' footy analysis on the show
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, via Zoom. Now, I had a Zoom with him yesterday, and he didn't have a shirt on, so fingers crossed he's got one on for today's show, but I wouldn't put anything past him. to be
Tipping
honest.
he'll be claiming somehow that the Storm's success is related to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
No doubt.
There's almost no doubt about that.
No doubt.
Wish I could bet on that.
Geez, the Sea Eagles are taking back at the moment when they Eagle as well.
No. We've got the best halves pairing in the comp.
Do you? Storm, say hello.
Luke Brooks as well.
Panthers say hello.
Panthers say hello.
Yep.
All right, do you want to run through some repercussions?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I can't actually click on my thing at the moment, so you're going to have to do most of the.
I'll do a bit of steering. All right, so I eked out a 0.72 unit profit for the week. I thought I was further in front, but I was not. My
Are you 10 units down? Was the lyric correct there?
13.
Okay.
Close enough.
I was kind to you.
Yeah, you were. I had...
And 13 doesn't really kind of... 10's got the right amount of syllables. So.
Yeah. I thought you might have done a bit of creative license
Yeah.
with that. So I had Panthers minus 5.5 into Storm minus 5.5. I took the lines down a little bit. Bit cowardly, really. Should have probably just had the 13 plus double.
Yep.
Although that Sharks Panthers game with that 13 plus was a bit shaky there
Yep,
for a little bit.
it
wasn't
was.
So it was more comfortable to watch. That was plus 2.36 units.
Yep.
I wish I win. Didn't get it done on the Monte Carlo. Went too far back. I unfortunately have to put racing tips in before horses draw barriers. 'cause
Yeah,
they don't-
these are tough.
It's hard.
I'll give you a chop out there on that.
Yeah, so it drew the car park and had to go back to last. Ran on pretty well, but didn't get the job done.
Yep.
Lions, I had 3 units on. Probably the best watch you could have on a grand final bet, I would say. I was personally financially invested in Lockie Neal winning the Norm Smith. I thought he probably should have won. Your thoughts?
Oh, look, it could have been any number of players, to be honest. I think they probably got it right.
Yeah. I saw the coaches had it split. Had 13.5 votes.
Yeah.
Each, Ashcroft and Neal. So, yeah, unfortunately had Neal. Lost me a unit.
Kyle Lohman, I thought was pretty good as well.
He did, but he kicked 3 in the first, and then he basically did nothing until kick 1 late.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I had the same gamer that was Zorko 25 plus, Neal 25 plus, Papley 2 plus goals on the Lions. Papley only kicked 1. That cost me 10 units there, so I'm very close to complete fill up on the grand final.
Yep.
Didn't get it done, and then the Steelers got beat by the Colts on Monday morning, so I was plus 0.72 for minus 13.2 overall.
Yep.
Can you see your screen?
No, I can't see it.
Okay, do you want me to run through yours?
Yeah, go on.
You had Storm 13 plus. Plus
Nice, easy watch. I was there
units.
for that one. They and I think quite rightly start favourites for the grand final. They are right now.
By like 4 cents.
Yeah, but they were yesterday. They got as short as $1.83. I wonder whether
Did they?
I wonder whether they might end up at that point again before kickoff.
Is that like pre-NAS being upheld?
Yeah, it was.
You reckon it's interesting?
Yeah, I think just based on what I saw, I think they're coming in as the better team.
I think they are too. Yeah.
More on that later, but that was a nice easy watch. What do I have next?
Swans -3 units.
Yep.
And then Swans 40 plus -1 unit.
Yep.
And then the grand final quaddy was -1 unit.
Yep.
Any thoughts on
Well,
that?
somebody was 40 plus, wasn't it? We were just on the wrong end of it. I said, if there's going to be a blowout, I just hope we're on the right side of it. But once again, we weren't. So, and then the quaddie just never got going. I mean, particularly the Swans boys probably didn't really help
Fire
there.
shot. No,
Yeah.
they didn't.
And there was blokes just kicking them ad nauseum for the Lions, which didn't help the quaddie.
No.
Yep.
And then you had the Panthers -11.5.
Yep, that was a great. As you said, they kind of had to work for a little bit, but I don't really think it was ever in doubt. And
No.
when the whips were cracking, Cleary got it done.
How good is he playing?
Good.
It's probably he's only played. I read before. He's only played 12 games this season.
Yep.
Like 10 or 11 of those games would be 8.5, 9 out of 10 performances.
Yep.
He's been unreal.
He's been good. We'll talk more about that game later. But
And
I'm
just
worried
quickly,
about
we haven't forgotten that Hammy's had some Indian v Bangladesh bets.
we have.
But they're still pending.
Yep, Jadeja and Ashwin. I think I had a unit on each of those guys to be player of the match.
850 each.
And as we go to air,
Ashwin's a chance, yeah.
Ashwin's a chance. They're into the final innings. They've been forced to follow on India, and Ashwin's taken the first 2 wickets before they broke. So if he goes on a bit of a roll here, he opened the bowling. I don't think the ball will leave his hand. I think he'll be at that end for most of the innings.
Beautiful.
Could be a chance. He was paying 850, so that'll get me, hopefully somewhere respectable for the week.
Could be a fill-up. So that's plus 0.97 for you. You've got those 3 grand final bets wrong,
Yep.
but your Storm and Panthers work carried you over the line. So you're still plus 43.69 overall. You've been treading water for a couple of weeks, but that's better than losing.
Yep.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, and I also had those extra 5 units to play with, and actually, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, oh, this could actually come back to buy you a bit if you don't back any winners.
Exactly right.
So anyway,
Yeah.
hopefully Ashwin comes through.
Do you want to run through a couple of bets before the grand final now, or do you want to talk to them later?
No, I reckon maybe we'll hear from some of our experts first. I mean, I've got one if you want to throw it out there because it happens before the weekend kicks off. It's a futures bet. It's just the Women's World Cup. It's been moved to the UAE. I think our girls, the Aussie girls, going to be very, very hard to beat. They're short. I consulted you in the green room. I said, "Are you happy for me?" Because we're kind of skirting the line of what's an acceptable bet and what's not.
Yep.
$1.72. I'm having 3 units on them.
Beautiful.
That'll settle in the next couple of weeks. But I think they're going to be really hard to beat. India, I think the market rates them as the only other challenger about the $4 mark. But I think the depth and the way that our girls have been going about it, I think they're going to be too good.
All right. Without further ado, let's get our experts in. We'll go to Denan first. Stick around. We'll be back in a second.
All right, welcome back to Give Me Something. Very excited to welcome a great friend of the show, big supporter of the show over a long period of time. And the bloke that actually owns this studio as well, Denan. Thank you for joining us.
Mate, nice studio.
Thank you.
How do you feel about him sitting in your seat?
It feels very weird. Very weird.
Marked my territory earlier when you weren't here. So
I'm getting alphaed in my own studio, which is very strange. But look, sometimes you just got to respect the big move, or respect it.
that's what we're here for.
Being in a shark suit has taken my spot.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What do
Oh,
think?
yeah, you missed out on that earlier. I had to sing a Katy Perry song of my choosing because the Swans lost the grand final. So I did Hot and Cold because she left off the set list the other day. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Look, I'm getting a bit concerned that because you guys come up with your own punishments. and
Yeah.
I feel like you're wanting to do this.
No, I would have liked to have heard him sing. Sing's like a loose term for what occurred earlier in the show. But
It's like, oh no, I have to sing in a shark suit, even though I'm the one that came up with the idea to do it. Feels a bit weird.
I didn't mind the ice bath one, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
He struggled with
I
it.
hated it so much.
I'm happy to put myself on the line to have to do a TikTok dance, knowing that if the result goes my way, he's going to have to do it because he hates it. He really struggles.
The TikTok and really embarrassing stuff. I'd rather physical and pain, to be honest, emotional pain rather than having pure embarrassment. But anyway, did you watch the have eyes on the Swans on the weekend or no interest?
No, I didn't watch it. I just played video games.
I saw that. I actually saw you posted during the game. Come join me in. What were you playing again?
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, how'd you go?
Yeah, good level and sesh. Just good to just zone out, to be honest.
Yep.
And Mrs. took care of the kid for a little bit. And,
Beautiful.
just got to enjoy me weekend for the first time in a very long time, it's always good. Look, whilst The Lions were slaying Swans. I was slaying Dragons.
Yeah.
You tell me who won.
A lot of synergies.
You tell me who won.
Yeah. Big AFL guy, though, legitimately, because a couple of AFL bets on the feed over the weekend. Locked in Neil 30 plus.
Yeah, you want to hear some of my descriptions?
Yeah. Locked in Neil 30 plus was a standout. $3.30, I think he was paying as well.
He had 35 touches, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Got it done.
Here is my bet on Charlie Cameron. I'm surprised more punters didn't get on it. Hearing Charlie has been smuggling excess testosterone in his mustache all season, waiting for this weekend to use it. Here is Eric Hipwood, which also surprised this didn't get more people on it. Any man that looks as innocent as this bloke has a diabolical plan up his sleeve. Hearing the plan is to absolute dominate some Swans this weekend.
And what was it? Was that for him to kick a couple of goals?
That was him to kick 2 or more.
Yeah.
He
got
did
one.
He kick 2? Oh, he only kicked 1.
And that's the moment I knew the Swans had lost, when we let Eric Hipwood kick a goal. And then he did a Jason Ackermanis impression. It was...
However, the one, now this is why they didn't get around it. Zeal in for a big one, no doubt in my mind, and it got up. So I was right. There was no doubt in my mind.
Zeal?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I wrote Zeal.
You wrote Zeal.
Zeal. I think that one might stick.
Yeah. Hey, you should have gone on it. Look, I'm surprised this had the least amount of punters get on it, and it may have something to do with naming the wrong bloke.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, not even the wrong bloke, just a bloke that doesn't exist. But that's the way I like to punt. I like to keep it mysterious.
Yep.
The real punters know that when I send signals out like that, like obvious mistakes, that's the real.
Yes.
That's the juice. That's the juice.
There's
So the
some,
goal is.
potentially some racing content coming up involving yourself and Dan. I'm looking forward to if that's your work on the AFL. I'm looking forward to your racing tips as well.
Yeah.
There's going to be a fair few typos throughout the spring.
Just quietly, Sportsbet feed, could you please put in a feature that actually autocorrects, because it does my head
It
in.
is a nightmare.
That's-
It doesn't suggest the emojis for you either or anything. It's a complete debacle.
And also, could you just reduce the amount of the Nepo baby, like the funds that go behind him? Could you just reduce some of those funds? Maybe, I don't know, $500,000 instead of $1 million this year.
Good opportunity to take
Early
him
shots
down, though.
fired. Early shots
over spring. Hey, what did you make of the, we both probably thought these were the two teams that were going to win on the weekend and get to the grand final.
The fist bowl?
Yeah, the fist bowl, that's right. And it lived up to the billing.
Good old-fashioned fisting.
Yeah. Now, how do you see it kind of unfolding? Who do you think wins, and who are some of the key players who are going to have a big bearing on the game?
Oh, man, obviously the big fella Nass out sucks.
Yep.
Because there's always that asterisk of one of their main forwards wasn't there, therefore. However, I am still quite big on the Storm. I think the Penrith Panthers this year, they've never really hit the heights of last few years. And granted, Cleary's been out for quite a while, but he's been out, for a number of years now. And that's not to suggest the Panthers haven't been good this year. I haven't, outside of that 20 minutes against the Roosters a few weeks ago, I haven't seen them just fully look like, wow, they're unbeatable. However, that might be because they're saving their best performance for the Panthers. For the Storm and the grand final. Also, it's hard to judge the performance against the Sharks. Because, with all due respect to the Sharkies, the Panthers were going in that. No matter how poorly they played, they were always going to pull the win out. So, I don't know how much to take away from the Sharks' performance from Penrith, because I kind of got the feeling that they didn't seem... Put it this way, did that look like a team as up for the battle as they were against the Roosters? They looked way more up for the battle. They looked super intense at the start.
Yep.
So, I don't know how much to take from it. However, what I can say is that sometimes when you have it, even if you want to turn it on in the grand final, it's not that simple. And I think the Storm, they've just looked so clinical. The Storm, their whole season has just been like this. Just slow. If you were to do a graph of the Storm's form, it would just be an even keel all the way up to a peak.
Yep.
And that's where I go, aside from maybe one or two hiccups with the Dragons later in the year, and that's where I go, you know what, it does seem like everything is moving towards, a great performance for the Melbourne Storm in the finals.
Yeah. And they've obviously guys like Munster have come back in and kind of built into their, they seem like they're peaking at the right time as well. I think we're probably aligned on that as well.
I think they will win. I agree with Kempy. I think the Panthers don't look like the same side they have looked like in previous years. Their defence isn't probably what it once was. I think, Nathan being under some sort of injury cloud as well can't help.
Yeah.
Who knows how bad it is, but I always think about these things, you'd rather there not be a cloud than there is one. You would think Bellamy will be smart enough to send additional traffic his way. I know they can find ways to protect him, but I also think just on the Storm, I know Nass is a big loss in the middle, but I can't recall a time where their spine has all been... They've had this spine for years now, but often one of them's out or one of them's not playing that well. They're all humming right now. That Pappenhausen performance on the weekend was as good as I've seen him play in a couple of years. Grant's had one of his better years. Hughes will win the Dally M. Even Munster, he flicked the switch when they beat Penrith in Penrith a few weeks before the end of the season. Since then, he's been great. I just don't think the Panthers can go with him. It'll take another Cleary God-level performance like we saw against Brisbane in the second half of the last grand final to get it done, I reckon.
Yeah, the only thing is, like, they do miss Critter. Like, I think Critter came up with some huge play in last year's grand final. And if there's been a weakness in the Panthers side, it has been their edge defence at times. And also they have been, like, they lost Taylor May, they lost obviously Critter, and Tungor's form for most of the year hasn't been great. He's actually gotten quite a lot better towards the final series. However, like, you compare that back line when it had Critter in it, it actually hasn't fired as much of a shot as it usually does. Now, Toto's been incredible all season long, but like Taruva's been in and out of the side. Alamotti, he only came in because of injuries, and he's also had up and down games. Tungor's had a pretty down season by his standards. So in reality, you're really looking at Toto and Edwards, the only two consistent players all year long in the Penrith back line. And also Edwards, he had a little bit of I wouldn't say a form slump, but he was just solid for a bit because of injuries. And so, like, whereas heading into final series last few years for the Penrith Panthers, their backs were absolutely like humming. Yeah. So, look, the thing is in saying all of that, they're in their 5th grand final. So it's like, first of all, they're so used to it. But second of all, like, how hard would it be to get motivated for all these other games? Like, it's just a normal club game. A game against the Sharks, I know they're going to win. They might just be waiting for this moment to just explode.
Yeah, that's the danger for sure.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point. What about key players in this one? Have you got like a bit of a Clive or a couple of Clive options that you don't mind?
Well, obviously Cleary is like the obvious one. But I think that Isaiah Yeo is a real, like, I think it was $11 or something like that at the time we were talking yesterday. Like, he almost is a guarantee 8 out of 10. And I think he's been getting a lot more like appreciation, because I think that heading into a grand final, you've almost got to have a little bit of hype around your name, because just so the selectors are focusing on you a little bit. So there's Isaiah Yeo for the Penrith Panthers. Dylan Edwards is always a good shout. Outside of that, I can't really see anyone winning it other than Cleary. So in the Panthers, I'd be very surprised if it isn't Cleary, Isaiah Yeo, or Edwards. Anyone outside of that, maybe Toto, but very hard for a winger to win it. In the Storm,
no narrative around Luai. Maybe last game there. Do they like a bit of a yarn around that?
Yeah, but his role is so based off Cleary, and he's so unselfish in that. And I just can't, like, Luai, he's just unselfish. So he'll always just go, whatever you need, Cleary, I'm there to do it. So it's almost like impossible for him to win it. I mean, it's not impossible, but you know what I'm saying? Like, Penrith's game plan doesn't allow Luai to do what we know he can do. No. And then on the Melbourne Storm side, you've got big game players like Munster. I mean, the Melbourne Storm side, it could be Munster, it could be Grant, Hughes, Pappy. It could be quite a lot of people. And I think also it's a much more even race. Like, in the final series we've seen with the Storm, on one game Hughes will kill it. The next game it'll be Munster. The next game it'll be Pappy. The next game will be Harry Grant. So I think anyone in that spine is pretty much even money. I know they're not even money on the betting sense of things, but like, I don't look at them like I look at Penrith and go, look, Nathan Cleary is most likely going to win.
Yeah, we're discussing this in the green room. I can't believe so. Cleary's 450, Hughes is also 450. And then it's like, I think Munster's 8, Pap's 11s, Grant's 10s. I think the way I'll be playing it is to probably just back those 3 evenly. And if Hughes beats me and Storm win and Hughes beat me, too good. But I don't think he should be that short, because like it's not a direct correlation like Cleary is with Penrith. I think so.
Oh, absolutely. And like, so the Storm have proven they can win and have key players have quiet games. The Penrith Panthers in big games, at least recently, they've relied on Cleary quite a lot to pull him out of a tough situation. So, going to be interesting though. Cannot wait.
His shoulder, bit of a question mark. If he's got to go off, is that it for Penrith?
They've got to carry Schneider though right now. They
correct.
have to,
But does let's say something happens early on, he gets targeted,
That's
whatever.
it. That's game over.
I think it's game over.
You don't think Luai can roll in there and on the fly? You did it once or twice through the year?
Yeah, look, I think he can play really well, but against any other team, I'd give him a chance. But the Melbourne Storm, they're the minor premiers. They've actually been better this year than the Penrith Panthers. So you're almost asking Luai to do the impossible. You're almost asking, the Broncos to lose Reynolds last year at the start of the game. And then for Ezra Mam to, without Reno just beat the Penrith Panthers, because that's the similar situation. Obviously, the Melbourne Storm won the comp this year, they won a premiership.
Yep.
In saying that, like every time we've doubted Luai, he goes out there and does it.
Yeah.
Like it honestly, it's incredible the amount of times where you go, yeah, he's a really good player, but I don't know whether he's at this level, and then he just goes, oh, am I not at that level? Boom, he gets that level, and then another question gets asked. Boom, he answers that question. So. Who knows?
No, wait till you see him next year.
I was
He's
going
going
to
to
say,
a whole new level.
Wait till he's got the Tigers.
Whole new level.
His show.
Yeah.
It's going to be outstanding.
Cannot wait.
What do you think is going to happen to him at the Tigers?
No, I hope he goes well, but for the content game, it'd just be great.
For the content game, it'd be great. Imagine a team going from last all the way to the
Yeah,
top.
but it would officially prove, like, he's your biggest signing in a long time,
Yep.
I feel like. The guy in his actual prime.
Gordon Whippy says hello. Yeah.
For you to get a guy in his prime,
Yep.
a clear origin player,
Yep.
won 4 premierships, and if he stinks it up next season,
No, won't happen. Can't happen. We'll keep moving. We'll move on. What about any try scorers for the game, Stan? I reckon I found one, but I want to hear if there's anybody that you reckon's got a meat pie in them on grand final day.
Yeah, so my multi, it was Storm to win, Howarth anytime, to River anytime. I think Howarth anytime try scorer he's going to be, I'm pretty sure, on Cleary's side. Pretty sure.
Okay.
And so I think there'll be space around, even if Cleary does his best in defence, he does have a tendency to get disconnected from Tungwall.
Yep.
And so I do think there might be a bit of space for Howarth to score a meeting.
That's the spot I was looking at as well, around the Tungwall thing. He's had some issues. He's been pretty good in the finals, I'll give it to Tungwall, but defensively and obviously with Cleary with the injury as well. 410 you're getting for Howarth.
that seems a big price.
I'm on the same page. I think he looked pretty good to me.
I see Buzz in his in the paper today or yesterday saying that Howard should be in the Kangaroos squad.
Wow. I mean, his versatility and also his youth. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I think also, he may be coming. I'm not sure. He could be wrong, but if you want to make sure he pledges to Australia as well,
That's the other
it's a
element.
really carrot at the end of the stick, kind of going, look, we're bringing in a squad. Because Australia have done that before, bring a young fella into the squad that might be a bit before his time, but it just gets him in the system.
Yep.
And he is also so versatile that you can have him on a bench if you want to. But you know what? I wouldn't be that against it, to be honest. It sounds a bit crazy, but if you've actually watched how good he's been at centre,
He's been unreal, yeah.
since he's come in.
Yeah.
And also, if you know the raps the Melbourne Storm signed him on a $500,000 deal before he played first grade.
That is
and
crazy.
a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
I don't think even Cam Smith got a 4-year deal. Like,
That
they
is
never
crazy.
signed long-term deals.
Yeah.
But that's how much they believed in him. And also, it sounds a bit weird, like almost counterintuitive, but the fact they've been so patient with him, in my opinion, suggests that they see him as such a long-term player of the club. Whereas sometimes you can almost go, he's not really that important, let's put him in and see how he goes. Whereas I think the Melbourne Storm have gone, mate, we cannot afford to ruin this guy. We need to make sure that he is set up, foundation is being laid to be the best he can be, because we're going to build a club around him. And he's been friggin' good since he's come in.
Yeah.
Where do we see, so say, we all sort of seem to think Storm will win. Say Penrith get this done. Where does this leave Cleary in particular? Where does his legacy sit? Because at the moment, I feel like I'm watching him and I keep... His kicking game at the moment is just on a level. It's gone to a new level. I don't know if he's not in Andrew John's territory, but where is his legacy landing?
Well, I think that if you want to put him in Andrew John's territory, you can.
You reckon?
I think the only question is just to dominate and win an Origin series. He's already won Origin series. He's already played singular good games in Origin. But that's really the only thing he needs to tick after this. Is a strong Origin series. He's won a World Cup. A strong Origin series is really the last kind of fence he has to climb, because outside of that, what more can the bloke do?
No, he can't do much more.
What more could the bloke do?
Yep.
And also, his club resume is already better than Andrew John's.
It is. I was thinking that when you were talking just then.
Yep.
He's but that is also...
He's 26. Are you telling me in
Yeah.
the next 10 years he won't have one good Origin series?
Yeah.
Oh, man, surely.
And every chance he goes and cleans up a Man of Steel as well in the UK.
Oh.
Spent a bit of time with Mary.
Wow.
He could win a Man of Steel at 37,
Hey,
I reckon. 36, sorry.
Joey never got a Man of Steel. He went over there for a bit. Never got one.
I think also the thing that, a lot of people accredit to Joey is they took a pretty good squad at Newcastle to a premiership compared to some of the other legends or whatever that had an incredibly stacked side. That's one thing that knock against the Broncos, early 2000s, that people always go, yeah, but look at the side you had. It was incredible. I think people need to remember with Cleary is that when he started and came through the ranks, this current crop that's killing it now, they weren't current Origin players. They've been built into Origin players. And so he didn't come into a roster that was already like a top 4 roster and he's this young gun. Matter of fact, he came in a roster that I think when Hook got sacked, they were sitting 4th. They fell out of the finals. Then the first year he was there, they didn't make the finals. There was even calls for his head. I think in his 2nd or 3rd year, calls for him to get brushed, him and his father. So, like, this hasn't been just this smooth sailing from the start. This is something that he's been part of the rebuild of Penrith. So, that's another, notch in his belt.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Like, I hope the Storm win personally for financial reasons, but I also think, in terms of narrative, it would be pretty sick to see 4 in a row clear.
Has that been your accountant's advice? Just some financial advice. Hopefully, Storm wins for you.
Yeah, correct. If he's my accountant, probably not a big fan of this show.
Well, the way you've been going, particularly.
That's why he's giving him advice. Hopefully, Storm wins.
Yeah. Follow some of my bets.
Yeah, correct.
Absolutely flying. What about Madge? You got Madge on board. Obviously, your frown was turned upside down yesterday when that news came through live on the show. How are you feeling? You've had a night to kind of sleep on and think about it?
Woke up, had a grumpy coffee, grumpycoffee.com.au. Go there, grab some coffee. Best coffee in all the land. I'm excited. Like, look, obviously, it's devastating what happened with Kevy. Like, I think everyone that's reasonable, appreciates, like, he's a club legend. And I think also, like, I probably would have given him an opportunity to turn things around. However, at the same time, there's only a certain amount of coaches that go on the market. And if, let's say, you're the Broncos and you're looking at a guy like Michael Maguire, and granted, like, you have to, when you really go into, the depths of Michael Maguire's coaching career, I think that even though I'm super excited, like, people that are comparing him to, like, super coaches, his record doesn't suggest that at all. Like, his first year was 9th at the Tigers, then it was 11th, then it was 16th. Then the Rabbitohs, he took him from 10th to, like, 3rd to 2nd to 1st, but then he went, like, 11th, 15th or something.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah. So, like, his coaching career hasn't been he's not like a super coach yet.
Yeah.
In saying all of that, he still does have some pretty big wins. He broke a long drought over in the Super League, winning a premiership with, I forget which team he was with, but he won a comp there. He obviously broke a long drought with the Rabbitohs. I think the biggest question with the Rabbitohs situation was it wasn't sustainable, the intensity at which he was training at. He goes to the Tigers. Now, it's really hard to judge the Tigers situation because, unfortunately, we've seen that, like, it is, like, the roster that he was dealing with, when you go and look on paper, like, the roster now is a million times better.
Yeah.
And, like, you almost go, imagine Madge with this roster at the Tigers now. They wouldn't be winning the spoon, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, like, take too much away from it. But what has really turned me around on Madge, because I was of the mind that I felt like he hadn't moved into this next generation of coaching enough. But, like, going away and winning a record margin for the Kiwis and then also winning a decider in Suncorp, like, that does mean something. And I also think he has learnt a lot. So it's not as a sure thing as a lot of people are making out to be. Like, it's basically like a super coach is coming and he's just going to turn everything around. However, he's easily the best coach on the market.
Yep.
And if you are the Broncos and you miss that, let's say, for example, something else happens in the market. They keep Kevy around to round 10 and he either signs a long-term deal with New South Wales, like, because at the moment, I think there's, like, some reports I've read that the actual, the pay for New South Wales isn't that good.
Yep.
So, which is mental. And we actually, funnily enough,
part-time.
It's crazy because that was my biggest misgiving about these part-time contracts and these smaller deals from New South Wales was like, yeah, okay, you get to tick a box by saying, oh, look at all these monies we saved and we won a series. But then you lost a guy like Madge, whereas if you had have gone, mate, here's a 3 or 4 year deal and it's a full-time gig and it's a good wicket, maybe he goes, this is basically like a head coaching role, except, I'd coach a little bit less. Anyway, that's another topic for discussion. So the problem with the Broncos was, let's say they go Kevy to that 10-week period and someone else snaps Madge up because he's made it pretty clear from the start that he wants to be a full-time coach.
Yep.
Then you're basically left with just all rookies on the market.
Yeah.
And then what do? Then you almost should stick with Kevy.
Yep.
So although I personally would have given Kevy more time, I do understand where the Broncos were coming from. Sometimes you have to make ruthless, almost heartless decisions because sometimes it's just that's the options that are in front of you and you don't want to miss the boat.
Yep.
And I do think that Madge is a much better coach from my understanding, than he was when he was coach of the West Tigers, and also a much better coach than he was at the Rabbitohs. I think he's learned a ton over the last 5-6 years. He also took New Zealand to a ranked number one side in the world.
Yep.
Which is a pretty big feat. So yeah, I'm excited, and also I think as well, like, look, it's devastating that Kevy's been moved on, but at the end of the day, Madge is the coach now. We need to get on board. You're not helping the club by continuing to pot shot and this, that, and the next thing. Look, obviously, in the week that it's happened, you can have your opinion. For sure, everyone can. But I think eventually, we've all just got to get on board and be like, all right, that's the decision to be made. Because at the end of the day, I think everyone should want what's best for the Broncos, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It does seem like he almost, with the greatest respect to your beloved Tigers, if you look at what he's done with the Kiwis when he had talent to work with, what he did with the Blues this year when he had talent to work with, what he did with South, I know the last couple of years weren't great, but it was probably a not sustainable thing. When he has talent, his record seems pretty good, and there's no doubt there's a lot of talent in Brisbane. So, yeah, you just got to hope, also Brisbane had the year from hell injury-wise this year. So, if you've got a healthy list, I reckon sky's looking blue for the Broncos, I would say.
The biggest concern for me heading in, because I've had the time to think about it, is you just hope that this current playing group responds to him well.
Yep.
Because if they just are a group that doesn't respond to that kind of coaching, then there's going to be more pain before you're going to have to take 2 steps backwards to take more steps forward, because you're going to have to let guys go. If they're not going to get on board, you're going to have to let guys go. So I'm hoping this current roster, and look, Adam Reynolds has been under Madge. He's won a premiership under Madge. I think Madge debuted him as well. So he'll be very important in making sure the boys are all on board. But yeah, that's the one thing that could turn this into, we could get in the first year and things aren't going well, and it may be because this current playing roster is just not receptive to his style of coaching. And that's when people will start going, oh, he's not, see, look what happened. Kevy was the right man for the job. And it's like, well, it might be he just needs a little bit more time to get the roster that is his roster.
Yep.
But I'm confident that his current roster will respond well to him.
So stay patient, Broncos.
Stay
fans,
patient, Broncos.
is the takeaway there. Yeah. Before we let you go, Grumpy Coffee, how's it going? Tell us a little bit about it, how people can get themselves a couple of beans.
Yeah, we actually have too many orders, if I'm being honest. Yeah. So if you made an order, we're actually struggling to get them all out. So please, apologies for that.
What a problem to have. That's good.
Yeah, but it sucks because you feel guilty because people are like, where's my coffee? So apologies if you made an order. We're working as hard. We've hired 4 more hands just to get it out as quickly as possible. But as soon as we get through the huge, because the problem is most launches that don't already have a platform is that you're a normal business. So you start really small, like 5 sales, 10 sales. Whereas then you got a platform, you start just boom. But the business isn't as big as the platform. So but you don't want to go, oh, we're definitely going to sell this much, therefore we're going to spend all this money, and then it doesn't go as big as you think, and you spend all this money, and you're behind. So anyway, so we're getting through the orders, and you can go to grumpycoffee.com.au. It's a premium coffee. It's the best coffee I've ever tasted. It's beautiful. We roast it, we pack it, we try to send it out within 7 days of roasting. We don't just let it sit in the shelves for a couple of months and send it out to you. It's all fresh, it's all premium, it's the best in the business.
Beautiful. You should actually have a chat with Sammy in the green room. He's a very grumpy operator. So
that's not true.
Okay.
That's just not true.
One of the grumpiest people we know, Eagle.
Some beans there to turn your frown upside down,
That's
mate.
just not true. Anyway, thanks for joining us, mate.
Look how grumpy he is.
That's what a grumpy person would say.
You send him off then.
All right, thanks for having us, mate. Thanks for letting us use your studio, and I might sit here from now on. What do you reckon?
Yeah, there you go, mate. You've got it now.
Love it. All right, thanks so much, and good luck on the weekend.
We did take your coach, so...
Cut there. All right, we're going to go from one podcasting behemoth to another. No, I'm not talking about Sam Phillips, the man on my immediate right. Joining us from the backstage podcast set, it is Cooper Johns. Big round of applause. Welcome him to the show. How are you, mate?
Wow, thanks for that. What a warm welcome that was. Maybe a bit more energy next time, boys. That'd be nice.
I'm sweating absolute NutriBullets in this shark costume, to be honest with you, Cooper. So I'll be honest with you, my energy levels are depleting a little bit. But hey, thank you for joining us. And it's good to have you on board as well, mate. You're on the feed now as well. And you've had actually a couple of winners at a decent price so far this season.
Correct. I have had a couple of winners. Not enough as I would like. To be completely honest, Hammy, but let me tell you something. Everyone's due for a winner sometime, so maybe this week's my week.
All right, talk to us then. What do you like? Who do you like first of all to win? Then maybe give us a Clive try scorer. Run us through the full set. What do you like?
I like Storm. A little bit biased, but I do like Storm. I think they've been the best team all season, and I think their spine are all in just undeniably good form. And then my Clive Churchill medalist, actually, at a bit of value, I had Ryan Pappenhausen.
Don't hate that. I think Sam's thinking along similar lines there as
Correct.
well.
Couldn't have been more impressed with him the other night.
Well, and that'd be number 2 for him as well, Coop, of course.
Correct, yeah. He won it in 2020 last time they faced the Panthers, and I think he's just starting to peak. He's starting to hit his peak form. So I like Paps. I think he's like $11 too.
Yep.
I also don't mind if Penrith win. I wouldn't go Nathan Cleary for the punters.
Ooh.
I'd actually go Jerome Luai.
Oh, now I said this before and got laughed out of the room. Coop, can you talk us through your thinking there around Jerome Luai?
Mate, I think Romy's been their best player in terms of their spine all year. He's been their most consistent. I think Nath's still sort of carrying some sort of shoulder. So I think you'll see him take more of a facilitating role, less more of a role in terms of taking the line on things. I think the spark in the GF, if Penrith manage to get the job done, will come through Jerome. So I think he'll have a big game if Penrith are going to win.
So shades of Cooper Cronk in that Chooks Grand Final. Are you kind of envisaging a bit of that from Nath due to the shoulder injury?
Mate, I'm pretty sure. I think that's where it's heading. I think, he's downplaying it a little bit, and he's tough as nails. But I think he's going to the more ball he touches, the more passes he throws throughout that game. It's gonna really wear that shoulder down. So I think we'll see Jerome take a bit of a leadership.
Now, Coops, you mentioned Storm spine, probably the best. I was saying before when we were chatting to Denan, this is the best I think I've seen them look all playing together. They've obviously been around for a few years, this crew, but it seems like always one of them's been injured or one of them's been not playing at their absolute best. This is probably the one time we've seen them, all 4 of them flying. Is it the best the Storm spine has looked since you were part of that Storm spine a few years ago?
Mate, appreciate that. Mate, I think they are starting to get back to that 2021 spine that they were. The year after Cameron Smith retired, people actually forget they were on fire, Munster, Hughesy, Paps and Harry. They were all on the same page. The last few years, they probably dropped off a little bit, injuries and whatnot. They haven't been able to stay on the park together, but this year they've hit another high. Like, they're just all on the same page. Last week, when Harry would get out, you saw a couple tries, like Harry'd get out, Munster would, whatever shape they had planned, Munster would just drop whatever shape they had, and he'd punch outside the C defender, and he scored a really good try under the post from that. And then that one where Harry gets out close to the line and Paps just feels the markers chasing Harry because he's such a big run threat, and Paps drops underneath and scores to seal the game. So I just think they're all on the same page. They're so connected at the moment.
Now, I was also just wondering, how have you planned your Instagram story or Instagram post trying to take some credit for the result if it goes your way this weekend?
Mate, I'm actually going to be at the game, so
you in the rooms for sure. Yeah.
Oh, mate, I'll be pushing my way into the rooms. I'll probably have my hands on the Clive Churchill medal within 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know about best on ground. I probably could see you challenging for best off ground, maybe, if they end up winning it. Hey, just on the balance of the squad, last time they obviously won a comp, the 18th man role was quite crucial to the success of that side. Who will be filling those shoes, this time around? And have you got any sort of advice for them in how they can contribute to a famous Storm win?
Good question, Hammy.
Yep.
I appreciate you asking that, actually, because I didn't want to bring it up on my own. Obviously, the 18th man is pivotal to team morale and energy in the warm-up. That's what I used to pride myself on.
Yep.
I assume somebody like a Bronson Garlick or a Sua Farlogo or Grant Anderson will probably rise to that 18th man. I struggle to see all 3 of them sort of replicating what I've done, but in saying that, I think the biggest piece of advice is just be yourself. The boys don't want to see you being someone else in warm-up, and just bring as much energy as you can, because that's all you can do come grand final day. Energy creates morale creates vibe creates winners, and winners creates money.
That's all really good advice.
That's an algorithm there in that somewhere,
Yeah.
I reckon. Yeah, That's
Absolutely.
good stuff.
Hey, big week, grand final week, Coop. Not only the game itself, but you've got footy's night of nights. I'm not talking about the Foxies, which you did a brilliant job on the other evening, but the Dally M tomorrow. You and I will be doing the red carpet together. How are you feeling ahead of your inaugural Dally M red carpet?
Mate, I'm very excited. Funny thing is, it's actually the first time I've ever been to a Dally M medal in general. So it's in a media capacity, not as a player. So that's a bit of a kick in the guts.
Yeah, well, mate, you've earned your spot in the media pen on the night. Any players that you've kind of got in your crosshairs or you're looking forward to having a bit of a chat with when we nip down there tomorrow?
Oh, probably anyone from the Broncos would be nice.
Yep.
That'd be a good one. I don't know if Kalen Ponga's going to be there, but I'd love to have a chat with him.
Yep. Yep.
Basically, anybody who's in the media the last 2 weeks for a negative reason, I'd really just love to.
Yeah.
Do you have any sympathy for them, or you're just gonna skewer them? Basically, you couldn't care less now. You're a part of the media. You're playing fraternity. You're just fair game.
Mate, hang on a second, guys. I know I'm part of the media, but I still feel like a player at heart. All right? I'm a bridge between mainstream media and the playing group, so I won't go after him. I'm not a journalist like some of those ones in the Sunday Telegraph, but I will still try to take some heads off.
There's been some very nervous journalists at the Telegraph as well. If they happen to walk down the red carpet, you've gone after a couple of them in the past this season for Sportsbet, which you've enjoyed.
Oh. Yeah, but if Buzz is on the red carpet, he'll get a start. I'll be straight after Buzz.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to it, mate. It should be a very good night, so I'm looking forward to doing it with you. Give Cooper a follow on the feed.
Yes.
He's been on there. He did have a great winner. Probably the first week you're on there. I think it was about 30 or 40 to 1 around the Storm as well.
Wow.
Maybe just before we let you go, have you got like a little bit of a same game multi around the grand final as well? I know you're pretty hot on the Storm head to head, but is there maybe a try scorer or two that you could see getting across the line to build out a bit of value as well?
Hammy, mate, let me tell you something. I never come underprepared. I've definitely got something for you. Do you want the long odds one or do you want short odds? What do you guys want?
Look, anything. If you got something around the ballpark, maybe of what you built last time, around that $30 to $40 mark, but it doesn't have to be that. Just whatever you're kind of feeling hot on for Sunday night.
Right. Obviously Storm, but if you're not confident on the Storm, here are some try scorers who I think are going to score.
Yep.
Sunir Taruva.
Okay. Yep.
I think he's definitely going to get one. Will Warbrick. I think they're going to, I would imagine, as a kick target, the Storm are going to target that height mismatch between Taruva and Warbrick. Ryan Pappenhausen, I think he's always good for a push support try through the middle with his speed. And a little smoky one from the Panthers, Luke Garner.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's a bit of value. I think he's about $4.50 for any time try scorer too. So I like Garns because Penrith used their back row probably more so than any other team. And they really love that sort of doubles shape where they try to put a little kick through for their back rowers to score. Liam Martin scored off it last week. So Lukey Garner should get one.
I always like Luke Garner because even when he was at the Tigers, he found a way to score tries. So if he's able to score them there, every chance. And, he's been pretty good at the Panthers as well. So I don't mind that shout at all, Coop. Some good value there as well.
Beautiful. All right. That might do us, eh?
That'll do us, Coops. Get a good 8 hours, mate. I'll see you tomorrow at the Dally M Red Carpet. Thanks heaps for joining us, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Mate, guys, my pleasure. It's nice to be part of a professional podcast for once.
Hey, where does this rank as a career highlight, mate? Obviously, you've had a few. Kyle and Jackie O, you got your own successful podcast. Being on Give Me Something, the Sportsbet all sport punting show. Where does this sort of rate before we let you go?
Oh, mate, it's right up there, Hammy. It's right up there. It's easily in the top. It's easily in the top 15.
I was going to say top 25.
No, we'll take that.
We'll take
actually,
top 15,
Eagle, can you clip that up? That's actually a really good review.
That's a promo. We'll get that on Spotify ASAP.
Awesome.
Review, yeah. All right. Thanks, Coops. Good on you, mate. We'll
Thanks,
talk to you
mate.
soon.
Chat tomorrow.
There, boys.
All right. Thanks to Denan. Thanks to Coops. If you haven't got enough NRL bets there, and NRL Grand Final preview, I don't know what to say. What to say to you.
Yep, plenty of good stuff there. Thanks to both of those guys for their time. I know they're very, very busy.
Yes.
So to squeeze this show in Grand Final week, very much appreciated.
Greatly appreciated.
Yep.
All right, we're going to rip through some bets here. You'll never see as many quickfire bets as you'll see in the next 5 minutes.
Yep.
We're going to start just before the Grand Final on Saturday, the day before the Grand Final. Turnbull Stakes Day, which is definitely in Melbourne. the start of the spring carnival.
Yep.
I know there's been some Group 1s, there's been some really good racing so far, but this is all eyes now. The footy's over. Everyone starts going on the track. And in the Turnbull Stakes, I really like Via Sistina at $3.10. I'm having 2 units on it. Chris Waller trains. Again, don't know barrier yet. Not sure of jockey yet, to be honest. Probably be J-Mac, I would say. I'm not sure whether he's in Melbourne or Sydney this week, but if he's in Melbourne, he'll be riding. This is Chris Waller third up off a second up flop. Now, anyone who follows racing knows that Waller can get horses to go first up. They usually then fall off a bit of a cliff second up, don't go as well, and they spike again third up. If this draws a good barrier, it'll be nice and close in the run. It's up against a few rising stars. Elias is probably going to be in the race. Buckaroo's been an impressive horse for its last few starts. Warmonger, then a couple of other Waller horses at big prices. But I think Visa Center at $3.10, if he's on his game and draws a good barrier, will be winning the Turnbull Stakes.
Like it on Saturday.
All right, like that narrative. All right, Sunday, grand final bets.
Yes.
Over to you.
I'm just going to kick off NRLW. That one will be before the men's game.
Sharks
against the Chooks. Now,
they upset the Sharks, I think, last week.
Yeah, there was. They knocked off the Broncos, who finished on top of the ladder.
Yep.
14-0, I think it was.
Yeah, it
so
was.
pretty convincing.
Yep.
The Chooks, they've been a very good side this year as well. And in fact, a bit over a month ago, they actually hammered the Sharks 40-0.
Whoa.
But you've just got to go off recent form. I think in a grand final, hopefully they don't channel their inner Sydney Swans, the Sharks girls, and they actually show up on grand final day. The line is 9.5 points. Based on the fact that they've knocked off the best team in the comp to get to this point this weekend. They were 330 head-to-head. I thought about it. I thought, look, I don't know about that because the Chooks are a good team as well and they've had good form against the Sharks, but plus 9.5. I'm happy to have 2 units on the Sharks girls, plus 9.5 against the Chooks in the NRLW Grand Final.
Is that just before the men's game?
I believe so, yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Good to know. I'll be a nice little start to the Sunday, hopefully.
Yep.
All right, do you want to run through the rest of your grand final bets officially?
Yep, certainly can. I think we're aligned on a couple of these. I think we're both like the Storm.
Yep.
I think they've been peaking at the right time of the year. Denan said it well. They've been kind of building. He had the beautiful visual description of the graph that's just been trending up. Penrith, great team still. I feel like, fifth grand final in a row now. I feel like they're a little bit busted up. The Nathan Cleary injury scares me a little bit. Would I be surprised if Penrith won? No. In fact, I'd actually like to see Penrith win. I'm a fan of watching the dynasty. I don't know whether we're going to see 4 in a row ever again. So I would like. The heart says Penrith. The head says the Storm at this point in the season. So that's where I'm kind of thinking. I'm aligned with Cooper on the Clive Churchill medalist. I've got Pappenhausen at $11. I like your thinking and your articulation on Hughes. How can you have him that short when there's so many other guns in that spine?
Yeah.
Pappy's done it before. They're big narrative guys. The people that award the Churchill medal. To see this bloke come back from so many terrible injuries, he's just been so good. He's one of the good guys in footy. $11 a unit on Pap for the Clive.
Yep.
And Jack Howarth, we spoke about this with Denan. He was thinking along the same lines too. $4.10 to score a try at any time. I think on that Tungo edge, and particularly with Cleary potentially over there with his dodgy shoulder as well at $4.10, a bloke who could potentially be in the frame for international rep footy, not too far away. He's had a great year and great form. I'm having a unit on him to score a try as well.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Look, we've covered it, but the Storm are my bet this week. I'm having 3 units on them at $1.90. I think they've been the best side all year. I think their spine's going just unbelievable, as we just heard from Coops. Probably the best since 2021 or since he was part of their spine a few years ago. And I think, we have discussed, I think the price for Hughes is too short for Clive Churchill. I also think Pappenhausen is on fire. I'm having a unit on him to win the Clive as well. So we are very aligned this week. And I'm actually going to have a same gamer as well. I think the total points line is going to be too low. It's going to be good weather this weekend. So I'm going to have the Storm into over 40.5, into Pap to score. 1 unit on that at $6.25 for me. So 3 units on the Storm, 1 unit on Pap, 1 unit on that multi. And I'm so confident Pap will actually score. I know he's one of my official bets, but I'm happy to do our punishment bet on that this week. So I'll have Pap.
Yep.
You have Howarth.
Okay.
And our punishment is going to be...
Yeah, now the punishment for next week, we know Sammy loves TikTok dances, so he insisted in the green room, he goes, please, can we do another TikTok dance as a punishment? So, very on theme, the GOAT, Nathan Cleary.
Yes.
A couple of years ago in COVID, he got in a bit of strife for catching up with some friends and doing a TikTok dance while we were supposed to be in lockdown. So, as a homage to, obviously he's in his 5th straight grand final, the loser, and if both of us lose, we're both doing it,
Yep.
has got to do the Nathan Cleary TikTok dance and bring it to the show next
The
week.
Weekend, Blinded by the Light, I believe.
Yeah, tune.
What's the name of that song? Is that the name
Blinding
of the song?
Lights. Yep.
Blinding
Yeah,
Lights.
and they're actually playing the weekend. They're in Australia at the moment. Mon's going down on to Melbourne on the weekend.
Very timely. Maybe we'll get him in the content.
That'd be great.
I'm going to his concert in October.
Do you reckon he's?
Yeah, I'll ask him.
You'll ask him.
Can you
Yeah.
have it, Chazzy?
Where's he playing in Sydney?
I think it's at Accor Stadium.
It's at a core.
I think.
Really?
I don't know.
Last time it was supposed to be at a core, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
And he
'cause
ended
it-
up cancelling it
Oh, really?
not long before.
Why?
So, don't know. It's at a core.
Yeah.
Surprised he's playing
Yeah.
at a core. I know he's big, but that's like Taylor Swift.
He's at Marvel in Melbourne.
He's got a couple shows as well in Sydney.
Good on him.
Two
Good
shows.
to see battling performing artists doing
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah, get around him. So anyway, we'll be dancing that one. I think maybe we might have a bit of a winner in terms of who did the best one, put the most effort in, and I'm happy to defer to the Eagle to be our judge in that instance. Just because you
That's
phoned,
just not
you
true,
phoned
though.
in the last one.
No, I didn't. Well, Eagle filmed the last one and had no issues with it. And in fact,
You were the problem. The camera can't
Thank
help
you.
you.
there was a. Well, why didn't you say at the time this isn't good enough? You need to try.
She's
more?
a videographer. She's not a miracle worker,
There was a
mate.
better,
Exactly right. There's
and-
only so much I can do.
Yeah.
It's all down to you.
I don't know how professional a videographer she is because there was a better take that was completely filmed, recorded, ready to go. The jerseys were off, ready to go back to work in the office,
Yep.
and she deleted it.
No, okay, it wasn't a better take. It was a better take as in it was funnier because your timing was even worse. So
Moving on.
I helped you if anything.
So, anyway,
Moving on.
so that'll be the bet. That'll be what we're
That'll be
playing
the
for
bet.
next week.
All right, a couple other bets, just not NRL Grand Final related that I'll finish off with. Spoken to close personal friend Alexander Volkanovski, as I always do before.
It's embarrassing.
Big UFC. It's UFC 307 this weekend.
They get sent through. Sam copy and paste them into his notes, and he just reads them out. That's basically what happens. There's a little peek behind the curtain.
Here's what Volk likes this week. He likes Alex Pereira to win by KO or TKO. He likes Juliana Pena to win, potentially by submission, but I've just got her in to win. He likes Jose Aldo got knocked out by Conor McGregor in 15 seconds fame to win by a decision. I've got Kayla Harrison to win by submission and Roman Delite to win by decision. Now, that's what Volk likes. I'm just going to put them all in head-to-head as a multi and have one unit on all of them to win. That spits out at $16.23.
Ooh, okay.
There's a few underdogs in there.
A
So
little bit of a curtain raiser for the NRL Grand Final.
Yeah, they'll
watching
be
the
on-
UFC through the day.
I'm tipping a few punters will be parked up from
Yep.
2 p.m. right through to the end
What
of
a
the
day.
granny. Great day. Sun's going to be out in Sydney.
Yep.
What a city. Superior city, as I like to call it. And the Monday game of NFL I'm betting on is, I think it's it's a very early game. It's like a 12:30 Monday start.
Yep. Public holiday up here. You might be able to stay up a little bit later and watch that one.
True.
Yep.
That's a great point.
Every day's a public holiday for you, though, isn't it?
Well, according to your song, it is, yeah. So we've got Vikings minus 2.5 against the Jets. I'm having 2 units on them at $1.84. I don't know if you caught up with many NFL storylines in the last 24 hours, but fair to say Aaron Rodgers and his coach are not getting along well.
Oh, okay.
He bagged him in the presser. He's clearly visibly frustrated on the bench. And look, he's a great quarterback. Probably not the easiest guy to get along with,
Okay.
based on his time
Yep.
at the back end of Green Bay. So they're in a bit of shambles. The Vikings, meanwhile, are flying. Sam Darnold has gone from a Jets quarterback who got sacked, basically, to being an MVP candidate. And at home, I just feel like they're a great bet. So I think they're flying. The Jets will continue their miserable history as a franchise, and I think the minus 2.5 is a good bet.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
All right, multi.
Yeah, we've got a multi. And it's just around the grand final. We're just
Yep.
going all in on it, aren't we?
All in.
Because we're aligned on so many different
Yes.
factors, which is rare. But take it away.
Storm to win. Pappenhausen to score. Howarth to score. Simple as that. $13.25. If we get Howarth try early there,
Yep.
there'll be some lead in the pencil.
On the dance floor.
Yep.
Yep. I like it.
What does on the dance floor mean?
Means we're involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you heard that before?
I haven't. I'll add it to the vocab.
Yeah.
Never heard that
Well, I've
before.
been using it, so if I've been using it correctly.
Can you quickly settle a debate amongst some friends for me here? But just before we go, if I said to you something has mayo on it, or you've put mayo on that,
Yeah.
what does it mean?
Means you added a little bit of creative, flair to, the original story.
Bit of exaggeration.
Yeah.
I've been told recently that's not a thing.
Who
What?
told you that? Name
Yes,
shame.
it's such a thing.
It is a thing.
Oh my God, I use it all the time.
Yeah, mayo. I mean, yeah, honestly.
I won't reveal who said it, but it's
You might need to
it's an important discussion.
think about how much time you're spending with that person who doesn't reckon mayo is a thing. 'Cause
Anyway,
it's
on that
definitely a thing. Definitely a thing. What are you
that
laughing
note-
at? Who was it?
I'm not telling you.
Somebody
On that
grand
note, thank you very much for joining us again. Thanks to Denan. Thanks to Cooper. That's our NRL Grand Final extravaganza done. Thank you for joining me as always, mate.
Pleasure. mate.
Horoscopes next week.
Horoscopes next week. You're not
God.
here next week for that. What are you doing with your life?
Yeah, honestly, the last ones did not serve me particularly well.
No. All right. Look forward to that. See you all next week.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.